Welcome to the Invisible Stage Daily, your daily dose of inspiration to help you grow, lead, and show up with confidence. My name is Sabine Kvenberg, and before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you're listening on YouTube, please hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any episodes. Now, let's dive into the show. Perseverance means you keep on moving forward no matter where you are. No matter what happens, you will figure it out. Everything is figure outable, like you can read in Marie Forleo's book with the same title. I love it. I love it. She talks about her mother who didn't stop. She was a very handy person. And if she couldn't do something, she figured it out and made it happen. I love that. And that is one of the things that my mother taught me too. She said, keep on going. If you want to succeed, you have to have gumption. And that is what I applied to my life. And that is what I'm sharing in my new book. And the other idea is we have to trust in the process. Meaning there is a part of us that needs to have faith. And trusting in the process oftentimes requires that faith that it will work out. I will get to the end results. I will have a successful life. So the trust part is important. And also for you to be trustworthy. So people, when they come to you for advice, or they buy your service or your product, they need to have that feeling that you are trustworthy and what you deliver is real. And you are real. So trust is another very important concept. And the next idea is intuition. Follow your intuition. And I had that, I wasn't aware of my intuition. Let me put it this way. But it was there, and I followed it intuitively my entire life. From a very disturbing moment that I had as a young child, where I listened to my intuition, I listened to my guardian angels to get out of that situation that I was in. Let me keep it at that. Hint, hint. I share that in my new book. So following that intuition is a key concept in my life. Follow your gut. And you probably heard it. Follow your gut. When you don't know what it is, follow your gut. Now, sometimes we may not recognize that as this is the right thing. Or sometimes we think, oh, this is what I ought to do. And we think it's our gut telling that. Maybe it did, but it didn't work out. And then you come back and say, well, I thought I was supposed to follow my gut. But let me give you this piece of caveat. Maybe your gut told you got to have that experience, even if it was a bad one, even if you lost a lot of things. Hint, hint, sharing in my book. The losses that I had, for some people, it could be the end of the world. And in some instances, sometimes people even end their lives because they went on that wrong path, they thought, or they experienced a huge loss and they see it as failure or see it as something. It could be a huge financial loss, for example, that people just said, big stock market crash, losing everything that you have. For some people, that is everything. Money is everything. But let me tell you, it's not. It's part of life, of course. Money helps us get the things that we want, but it doesn't define us. It isn't the source of happiness. The source is differently. And I get to that. But what I'm saying is, when we follow our intuition and we get into a peculiar situation that wasn't good, but what if this was exactly what you and your soul needed to move from there to here. And if you wouldn't have had that experience, you may not have ended up where you're supposed to be. You may have ended in the different direction. So this is the later part in my life, what I discovered. And that helped me even go through failures or even hard financial losses much, much easier. Always follow your intuition. Thanks for listening and being a supporter of this podcast. And if you want to learn more, we have all the links in the description. And of course, you can always visit my website at sabinekvenberg.com or follow me on social media. Thanks and have a great day.